Good morning, Algebra 2. Today we'll look at the last section of Chapter 6. So it's section 16-2. And what we're going to do today is we're going to solve exponential equations. Now there are two ways of doing this. The first way is by doing the graphical way. We have done this one before. You graph your two functions and then do the trace, but I'm not going to focus on that, okay? I'm going to focus on the algebraic way, all right? So what I want to do is to do it algebraically, explain one, example one. It's a good one to fall back on, and I'm going to do some others, okay, to tie into this. And I'm going to keep it so that you don't need to use the math feature on your calculator, and that's the one where it's the log base. I'm going to set this one up and just do it the way in case you just have a regular calculator, okay? All right, let's see. Now what I want to do is I want to do a few examples. And what I need you to do is after I do some of the examples, I want you to do the year turn 4 and the year turn 5 on page 801. The reason I want you to do those is so that you can try this on your own before you start doing your homework, okay? All right, so with that said and done, we're going to do some examples. And want to refer you to page 805. And I'm going to do some of certain ones in here. Like the first one I want to look at is number 5. And here we have 450 times e to the 0.4x equals 2,000. And I'm going to show you how to do this. All right? When you do enough of these, it'll be very helpful, especially in the previous chapters, okay? So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by 450. So take 2,000 and divide it by 450. And that's where I got the 4.4. So I just rounded it to the nearest tenth. So remember that. The next thing we want to do is, once again, we're trying to solve for this x. So we have to get this x all by itself. And before we get this x by itself, we have to do a couple things first. And the first thing we got to do is we got to get rid of this base e. And to get rid of a base e, you have to take the natural log of it. So if I take the natural log of base e, I am just going to be left with 0.4x. Now, and since we're dealing with an equation, and since the left side I took the left side and applied the natural log to it, I have to apply the natural log to the right side. So that's what this part is. It's got a property of equality. So you have to do that to both sides, okay? It's an equation. The next thing you do is divide both sides by 0.4. So when we get to this point right here, all you got to do now is just use your calculator. So again, ln, okay, we don't need the log base part of the math, so we're just going to do the natural log. Okay, so the natural log of 4.4 being divided by 0.4, hit enter, and then we round this to the nearest tenth. So this one will be roughly x equals 3.7. Now I want to do something else here. This you don't have to, but it says check your solutions algebraically. What that means is after you have found your answer of x.37, take it and plug it back into the original equation and let x become 3.7. So here's how we'll do it. I'll show you how to do it. So it's 450 multiplied by e. So we have to go second division symbol, raised to 0.4 times, and we said that x is 3.7, so we'll put 3.7 in there, and that's the setup. And if we hit enter, we should get close to 2,000. So if I hit enter, we relatively got close to 2,000. The only reason it is not super accurate is because this part right here, we rounded it to the nearest tenth. Now, if I would have kept it to the, goodness gracious, the decimal form that repeats itself, we would have probably got 2,000. Okay? All right, that's what we're doing in this section. Okay? So check mentally is pretty cool to see if you're on the right track. This is the algebraic part. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is I did number 6 a certain way, and that's why I got a 3x5 card here. I'll show that one another way to you, that other way in a second, okay? So here we go. Here we have 6 raised to 3x minus 9 minus 10 equals 3, and we want to solve for x. So first thing we got to do is we got to get rid of any adding or subtracting. Think of your properties of equality. So in this case, we add a 10 to both sides. And I think I made a little bit of a mistake. Okay, this should have been a negative 3. That's why, okay, I just found my mistake. We got it fixed. So equals negative 3. So we add a 10 to both sides. So negative 3 plus 10 is 7. Okay, now this one's a little bit different than what we did over here. Now this one had a base of e. Number 5 had a base of e. And to get rid of a base e, we have to take the natural log of it. Now over here is, now we have a log with a base 6. Or in this case, we have a base of 6. And we can do this 2 ways. And I thought, I'm going to show this way. This is how they show this in the book, and I'll show you another way in a second. Okay, this has a base of 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to take both sides of the equation and we're going to raise it to the log. Now again, that log is the same log here in your calculator. Okay, this one in this case is a base 10. So the next thing we do is, after we take and log to both sides, we'll go ahead and apply the power property from logarithms. So I multiply this side by 3x minus 9. Okay. The whole goal here is to solve for x. So next thing we do is we're going to divide both sides by the log of 6. Because if I divide this side by a log of 6, we'll just be left with 3x minus 9. And then since we divided the left side by a log of 6, we'll have to divide the right side by a log of 6. Then the next thing we do, it's all algebra after this, add a 9 to both sides, and then divide both sides by 3, and you get 3.36. Now once again, to do this on your calculator, okay, it's very simple. Take, in this case, the log of 7 divided by the log of 6. We get 1.086. Then I'm going to add 9 to it. And then we're going to divide it by 3. And again, if you saw that, it's just 3 operations, and you got it, and I just rounded this one to the nearest hundredth. So it's 3.36. Now, like I said, this one is used if you don't want to do this math operation. But we can do this one using this operation on your calculator. And that's what I originally did. And I went back and I thought, let's keep to what the book says. So here is this one. I'll let you look at it on your own. Okay. This one right here is where we can use that operation, in this case, of log base. Okay, I'll let you guys study that. It's better off just going to use the other way if you like. Okay, there it is. You go ahead and look at that, and then we'll go to another example. All right. Number 8. Very similar to number 6. Okay. Take the log of both sides. Apply the power rule here to the log here. Divide both sides by the log of 11. Subtract 2 from both sides. And then divide everything by 6. And then after this is just all calculator work. Okay. So log 12 divided by log 11. Take away take away 2, and divide it by 6, and you round it off to the, in this case, I round off to the nearest thousandth. Okay, that is how we do problems dealing with solving logarithm equations, okay, or exponential equations. Now again, number 7, okay, in your homework is just like number 5. Number 9 is similar in nature to number 8, okay? And then I did another example did number 10. Again, to do this one, again, the first thing we had to do in this case is take care of the order of operations, so that becomes 10 to the 2x. And at the same time, I subtracted a 90 from both sides. Okay, take the log of both sides because we have a number as a base. We don't have e. Remember now, if your base is e, you take the natural log. All right, log of 10 to 2x equals log of 15. Again, the power rule, bring that out, or the exponent rule, bring it down. Divided both sides by the log of 10. And then I did not show the next part here. Okay, so I want you to see something. So we can go log of 15 being divided by the log of 10. Now again, log of 10 is going to be 1, just to let you guys know. Okay, so we get 1.17, and then solving for x here, we divide it by 2. And that's where we get the 0.588. Now, number 13 is a word problem that revolves around this equation right here. And what I want to do is I've already worked one of the explain 2, has it worked out for you guys. I'm going to let you guys pause your video, fill in the blanks. And I want you to follow that because the key here is getting it set up. Once you get it set up, okay, taking your information, write down all your givens, plug this into this particular equation, and all you had to do in this case is solve for n. So I'm going to let you guys pause your video, copy that, and then at the top of the page of 803 is the justification or evaluate. In other words, we're just saying, well, we already know our answer is 61.96. All they're doing right now is going back and seeing if it is reasonably close to $500. Okay, that is section 16-2. All right, guys, we'll do another video another day. Catch you later.